Good evening, and welcome to the 43rd Annual New Britain High School Madrigal Feast. Or, as I have come to call it, Madrigals, the movie. Of course, under the circumstances in the world today, we are unable to share our live performance with you, so this is the next best thing. Videotaped by the students, individually, in isolation, it has all been compiled into a full performance for your enjoyment this evening. I would like to thank Mr. Carlin, Mrs. Balcho, Ms. McKeever de Leon for all their assistance, putting together music for the brass and strings so that everyone who is usually a part of this performance can still be one. And I would also especially like to thank all of our students for their hard work and dedication to bring this performance to you tonight. I now invite you to sit back, relax in the comfort of your own home, and enjoy the show.
Well met, noble cousin. We welcome you to our kingdom.
I thank you for your kind greeting, your majesty. I am very grateful that you've allowed me asylum in your great land of England.
We have gathered together all of the most important courtiers to celebrate your arrival. We shall have a great feast, the likes of which you have never seen.
I am not so sure about that, good cousin. When I was Queen of France, there were amazing parties that lasted all night until my beloved Francis died. Too bad he only lasted a year as king.
Quite. We trust that your journey south from Scotland was comfortable. Such a long voyage can be tedious.
The trip was manageable. 'Tis the nail they put on my back to hold up this portrait that's causing some discomfort.
Would you please try to stay in character?
I was just trying to lighten the mood, my dear.
It is a historic tragedy. It is not appropriate to lighten the mood.
I apologize. I'm afraid I haven't been in the business quite as long as you have, and I do not benefit from the extensive experience of such an old pro.
Old? Who are you calling old? You're only 2 months younger than I am.
They must have been a very long few months.
But I don't know why I'm surprised. You never could act.
Why, you!
Cut! Ladies, if you keep fighting like this, we'll never be able to get through the scene.
She started it!
I did not start anything. Alex started it when he came up with this stupid idea to cast both of us in this reunion show.
It's good publicity, Sara. Or it would be if the two of you could be together for more than 5 minutes without clawing your eyes out.
Well, what did you expect to happen when you brought together your ex-wife and the new Mrs. Cooper for a publicity stunt, huh?
The two of you used to be a fantastic team. The whole world wants to hear you perform together again. Whatever happened to your professionalism? Whatever happened to your love of theater? Whatever happened to the two of you?
You happened.
Margarita, are we going to try that scene again? Or are we moving on? I haven't had a chance to say a line all day.
We're moving on for now. Maybe if there are other people in this scene, we can get these two to act a little more professionally.
All right, but I won't hold my breath.
Margarita, have you had a chance to listen to the new theme song I wrote for the play?
Not yet, Dallas. It's taken all of my concentration to keep these two from ripping each other's hair out. I haven't had a chance to do anything else.
But the show goes on air tomorrow night. I need time to rehearse the band.
Relax, Maestro. Maybe if Queen 1 and Queen 2 grow up and start acting their age, maybe we can be on the first scene of this thing.
I think we have a better chance of the Devils starting an ice hockey team, but...
George, what have I told you about hanging around the station and gossiping while there's work to be done?
Sorry.
Don't you have anything better to do?
Yes, sir.
Well, get to it. You're gonna have to keep on your toes if you want to make it in this business.
All right, Dad.
And try to be nicer to your mother.
Stepmother! I do try, but she doesn't make it easy. She does know this is a radio broadcast, right?
Enough. Just get back to work. Are we ready, ladies?
Let's get this over with.
If she can do it, I can do it.
Ready when you are, boss.
All right, ladies, let's take it from the top. And try to stick to the script this time.
Are you certain this is going to work, Mr. Cooper? The public wants to hear the great Sara Packard and Candace Horne in a dramatic production, not a back alley catfight.
Everything will be fine, Miss Palmer. I promise that this program will make you tons of money for your company and for our station. At least I hope so.
It had better. I didn't invest so much in your little show here to lose my money.
Don't worry. Twin Queens will be the hit of the decade.
I hope you're right, Cooper.
Of course I am. With these two stars as Elizabeth I and Mary Queen of Scots, what could go wrong?
That is it. I can't work with this woman.
Well, you're no picnic yourself, my dear.
Maybe if we do the garden scene and change things up a bit?
Good idea. I actually have a line in that scene.
Not anymore. Cut her line.
But
Well, at least you had a line at one point. I never get anything.
Oh, that's too bad, my dear. Give her a line in the garden scene.
Really?
And then cut it.
So, where are we starting from?
I think they said the garden scene, right? That scene is just the ladies, isn't it, my girl?
Yes, well, I think so, Xavier. That's right before Queen Mary gets to chop, right?
No, she doesn't get executed until after my council chamber monologue.
Well, she won't have to wait that long for the axe if Sara has anything to say about it. So, are we ready to get back to rehearsing or not?
Not.
Sorry about that, everyone. I was looking over the cues for the next scene and I got carried away.
Come on! Can't we get some work done? George, why don't you help Ethan get things in order so we can get on with it?
Okay, Abby, right away.
Oh, there you are, Alex. Are you almost done with rehearsal? I'd like to talk to you about a few things for my show.
This really isn't a good time, Genesis. Things are a little hectic right now.
Well, am I going to get a chance to run my show this afternoon? You know, I always rehearse on Fridays.
We talked about this, Genesis. I have the studio booked out all day today because Twin Queens go live tomorrow night, and today was the only day I can get Sara and Candace in the same room to rehearse.
Yeah. And, how's that working out for you, boss? I told you, you should have let me do a comedy special to drum up some publicity for the station.
What is the holdup, Mr. Cooper? I do not have all day here. I want to make sure Palmer Coffee is well represented. It is the best-selling coffee in the state, and I am hoping to extend further than that, as long as the publicity is worth the money.
It is a damn fine cup of coffee.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Official report that there has been a sudden outbreak of disease in our community. Several hundred people have fallen ill and there's a fear that the sickness may be spreading. All citizens have been ordered to remain quarantined wherever they are until further notice. Health experts are hopeful that there will be more information tomorrow morning. Until then, I hope you are all somewhere safe and comfortable. In other news, a strange uptick in the population of owls in the vicinity has begun to puzzle park rangers. More details on the news at 11. I am Randall Flagg, and this has been a WMAD News Break.
There is absolutely no way I'm spending the night locked in the studio with her.
Believe me, I don't like it any more than you do. But it doesn't really seem like we have another choice. Unless you want to take your chances with whatever disease is spreading outside.
Well, alright, but I get the big dressing room.
Fine.
Fine.
Is everyone alright in here? I just heard the news. It looks like we're stuck in here at least until morning.
Yeah, it sure looks that way. Yeah. Margarita's just settling down the dueling divas so we can get back to this rehearsal.
How is that going?
How does it look like it's going?
All right, I'm glad that's settled. Can we please get back to rehearsal now?
All set up here.
The musicians are waiting on you.
All right then, we'll run the full welcome scene. We'll skip the intro between Mary and Elizabeth and start right at the entrance of the Archbishop.
All set?
Alrighty then. Twin Queens, Scene 2, take... What are we up to now? Take 315. Your Majesty, the royal court awaits you and Queen Mary. The feast is prepared and the Archbishop of Canterbury is on hand to begin the festivities.
Thank you, Harold. We are ready.
I shall be right by your side, good cousin.
Very good, but a few steps back, if you please.
Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth I. And her royal guest, Her Highness Queen Mary of Scotland.
Wait a minute. Why is her fanfare longer than mine? I'm playing the Queen of England. I should have the longer fanfare.
Really, that's the biggest problem right now. We're stuck here all night, possibly longer because of this quarantine, and you're worried about the fanfares? Fine, switch the fanfares. Let her have the longer one. Who cares?
Thank you. Shall we get on with the scene?
All right, switching the fanfares. I'll let the trumpeters know.
Thank you, Dallas. Pick it up right at the entrance of the Archbishop.
Your Majesty, Queen Mary, honored guests. May I present the most Reverend and Right Honorable Xavier, Archbishop of Canterbury. His Grace will lead us in our opening prayer.
Thank you, Harold. And now let us give thanks for this glorious feast to be laid before us.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above the
Thank you, Archbishop. Now that the celebration has officially begun, I would like to formally welcome my cousin, Queen Mary, on her visit from Scotland.
Thank you, Your Majesty. It is an honor to receive such a warm welcome.
Are you not going to introduce your favorite nobleman and retainer, my beloved queen?
Yes, good cousin. Who is this dashing young man?
Of course. This is Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex.
Charmed, your highness. Well, now that the feast has begun, I could use a drink. What say you, my queen?
You are quite right. Let the wassail bowl be brought forth.
Come fill us up all of the best. Then we hope that your soul in heaven may rest. But if you do draw us a bowl of the small, then down shall our woe and all. Then peace to the maid in the lily white smock. Go trim to the door and slip back the lock. Go trim to the door and pull back the bit. For the rest is jolly wassailers in. Wassail, wassail all over the town. Our toast it is white and our ale it is brown. Our bowl it is made of the white maple tree. With the wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee.
What happened?
Sorry. It got out of control. Things are flying everywhere again.
So what's the big deal? There's a little hole in the wall. Fix it and let's get on with the show.
Yes, I want to get to our stand.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. There's something in that hole.
I think Sarah's right.
Well, what is it?
Let me see.
What's in the box?
Oh, there's a few old newspaper clippings, a picture of grandfather, and wait a minute. There's a smaller box in here too. It looks like an old home movie.
Why would anyone wall up that old stuff in a radio station?
Well, I mean, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Let's see what's on the film.
Yay, let's watch a movie.
Are you serious? We have to get through this rehearsal so I can finish the instrumental parts. We have to have everything recorded by tomorrow afternoon.
It will be alright, Dallas. I think we could all use a break from Twin Queens for a bit anyway.
Fine. Since I'm stuck here with all of you for the night anyway, we might as well see what it is. Somebody make a pot of coffee.
I'll take care of it. I can use some fresh air anyway.
All right. The projector's all set. Everybody get comfortable.
Good evening, Diane. 6 o'clock on a miserable rainy Friday afternoon, and I'm about to do the recording. I'll let you know how it goes later on. Good afternoon, and welcome to my video will. If you are watching this, then it means I am no longer with you. You may be wondering why I chose this method of informing you all of my final wishes, but to be honest, I've never met a man I trust as much as myself, so I wanted to be the one to deliver the news in person.
That's my father for you. Always so humble. He never gave me a break. Just criticism.
He always liked me. Maybe he left me something in his will.
Well, of course he liked you. You generated money for the radio station with the performances you and Candace gave.
He's always treated all of us as part of the family.
He was always most concerned about making sure the station survived and we would all remember him.
Remember me when I am gone away, gone far away into the silent land, when you can no more hold me by the hand, nor I have turned to go yet to me say. Remember me when no more day by day you tell me of our future that you plan. Only remember me, you understand. It will be late to counsel then or pray. Yet if you should forget me for a while, and afterwards remember, do not grieve, for if the darkness and corruption leave a vestige of the thoughts that once I had, better by far you should forget and smile, than that you should remember and be sad.
But didn't he die without leaving a will?
That is what we all thought. That's how your father inherited all the money, and we were able to do all the renovations on the studio.
But if this is his will, that would mean that the money doesn't necessarily go entirely to his son.
Before everyone starts to panic, why don't we watch the rest and see what Mr. Cooper has to say?
If you're all finished with the bickering and arguing that I assume has filled up the past few moments, I will continue. No doubt Alex assumes that he will inherit my entire estate. Being my only son, that would stand to reason. However, Alex has never been the most business-minded individual. Because of this, I have decided that he will need to prove himself in order to inherit my money, a substantial portion of which has remained unknown to my beloved son, his lovely wife Sara,
Ex-wife.
and the rest of my family. If for some reason this will is not found until sometime after my death, Alex will already have inherited the radio station and a small portion of my fortune. But the bulk of my money has been hidden right here in this radio station that I spent my life to build. Whoever finds the hiding place will find himself, or herself, $100,000 richer. I will give you 2 clues to the whereabouts of the money. First of all, balance is the key to your good fortune. And secondly, the answer will reveal itself when the stars begin to fade. Happy hunting, and remember,
The walls are not what they seem.
When the stars begin to fade? What could that mean?
The obvious answer would be that the money can only be found at dawn as the sun is coming up.
That makes sense.
Not if you knew Dale Cooper. Dad always talked in riddles. There's no way that the answer would be so logical.
Well, what do you think it means?
How should I know?
Maybe it's in the elevator? That part he said about balance? That could mean the counterweight system, no?
I doubt it. That was one of the first things we renovated after Dale passed away. If there was anything hidden there, we would have found it.
She's right. That entire part of the building was ripped up and rebuilt from scratch.
Well, Wherever the treasure is, it will turn it up sometime. Why don't we get back to rehearsal? We haven't even started the banquet scene yet.
Good idea. I still want to see if I'm getting my money's worth.
All right, back to work. We'll take it where we left off. Miss Normal, whenever you're ready.
Sure thing, Margarita.
Wait a second. Your last name is Normal?
What about it?
So your full name is Abby Normal?
What are you doing? Trying to be some sort of young Frankenstein?
Don't worry about it. It's 1940. That movie won't be made for another 34 years. You can sue Mo Brooks.
Cue the music.
Ready when you are.
Okay, go ahead, Abby.
Alrighty then. Twin Queens, scene 2.5.
Your Majesty, many of the guests have traveled a long way to attend this evening's celebration.
Indeed, my queen. Perhaps we should begin the feast so that your guests can have some refreshments.
Yes, good cousin. I am famished from the long journey.
Quite right. Let the soup be served.
Guzzle, 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 munch, munch, gobble, gobble, chomp, pass the salt and the pepper and the guzzle, 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 munch, munch, gobble, gobble, chomp, pass the salt and the pepper and the guzzle, 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 chomp, pass the salt and the pepper and the pass the salt and the There's a fly in my soup. 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 Guzzle, 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 guzzle,
If we can find the inheritance, it won't matter if Twin Queens is a success or not.
That's right. If we work together, we can split the money.
Really? That would be great.
Who was talking to
But
you?
isn't he your son?
Well, I guess you're right. But not a word to your mother.
Stepmother.
Not a word to her either.
What would you do if you found the money?
I love to open a radio station of my own so I could run things the way I want to.
That would be nice. I'd hope you'd still need an announcer. What about you, Dallas? Are you on board?
Thanks, but no thanks. If I found the money, the first thing I would do, which would be get out of this business. I'm sick of writing music for radio. I would take the money and finally be able to write a show for Broadway.
That would be great, Dallas. Maybe if the three of us team up, we could find the money and split it.
I'm in.
Me too.
It sure would be great to find that money, huh? Then we wouldn't have to share the studio with junk like this.
I mean, it's not that bad. But I do have more fun doing the effects for your comedy stuff.
Stick with me, Ethan. We'll find that money, and then we'll buy the station right out from under Mr. Alex Cooper.
So, what do you think?
I try to think as little as possible. They say it causes wrinkles.
Isabella, don't scare us like that.
I'm sorry. What did you mean, Imogen?
I meant, what do you think about the money? Any ideas where it might be hidden?
Yes, and what would you do with the money if you found it?
If I found the money, I'd head right to Hollywood. I'm gonna be a star someday, and this is not the place to do it.
You can say that again. Every time I get a line, one of those two dinosaurs gets mad and it gets cut.
Well, why don't we all work together and try to find the money before anyone else does? If the three of us put our heads together, we're sure to find the money.
Ow.
My queen, the royal food tasters are here. Shall we begin the dinner service?
Very well, Robert. Send in the servants.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Randall Flag here with WMAD News Update. Tension continues to mount as doctors have no idea how to counteract this growing sickness. Millions of people are stranded in their homes in Salem, Massachusetts. The amount of people who have fallen ill is tremendous. We must all try to take the stand to avoid misery and save ourselves from Salem's lot. It will not be easy, but we must avoid all but needful things on the long walk to avoid the dead zone. We must not give in to our dark half, but walk the green mile to avoid ending up at the dark tower. Now let us all confer with Dr. Sleep to avoid insomnia and make it through the shining morning, where doctors are hopeful that there be more answers. A special thank you to our newsroom copy editor, Mr. Stephen King, for his assistance in preparing this report. In other news, the continued sightings of large groups or parliaments of owls in the areas most affected by disease is causing some experts to wonder if the owls might be causing outbreaks. Whatever the case may be, one thing is clear. The owls are not they seem. This is Randall Flag signing off for WMAD News.
I really wish they would stop with those sudden news bulletins. It's ruining my performance.
Absolutely. You are perfectly capable of ruining your performance all on your own.
Exactly. Wait, what did you say?
Can we please pick up the scene? Sara, take your line again.
Very well, Robert. Send in the servants.
There appears to be one set of servants still waiting their entrance. Why is that, good cousin?
Those are the royal footmen. They bear the centerpiece of this evening's festivities. Gentlemen, let the boar's head be brought forth.
The
whose head and hand bear I, bedecked with bays and rosemary. And I pray you, my masters, be merry, cotesti sin convivio. Caput aprinde ferro, renes lares Domino.
The boar's head, as I understand, is the rarest dish in all this land. It just be decked with the gay garland, gold dusting the contico.
Caput aprinde ferro, renes lares Domino.
Any luck?
Nothing here.
We don't even know what we're looking for.
Don't worry, George. When we find it, we'll know.
Is everything alright in here, Mr. Cooper? I heard a lot of noise.
Everything is fine, Claudia. I dropped an earring and Mr. Cooper and his son are helping me look for it.
Oh, okay. I'll go check on the rest of the company.
Do we have any idea what we're looking for?
Of course! We're looking for the $100,000 Dale Cooper left hidden in the studio.
I think she means, do we know where it might be hidden? Is there a hidden safe somewhere or another box walled up in the station?
How should I know?
I was just asking. Now keep looking. Do you want to get to Hollywood or not?
Wait a minute. Maybe he meant balanced as in symmetry. Is there anything in the station built in pairs? Columns, designs, wall hangings, anything at all?
Not that I've ever seen. Dale was always focused on the programming. He saw no reason why a radio station should have to look good. It was all sound. He put all the money into the recording and the broadcasting studio.
Well, I guess we'll just have to keep out thinking, you know what I mean? I mean, we're sure to find this out before anyone else, right?
What about the second riddle? When the stars begin to fade. What do you think that could mean?
Well, Alex said that his father always spoke in riddles. If this isn't literal, maybe it means stars as in our two leads.
Well, then we should have no problem finding the cash. Those two started fading years ago.
But they're such big stars.
According to their own publicity. If you want to know the truth, I think this show is their last shot. That's why they agreed to do it, even though they hate each other. If this isn't a hit, both of them can kiss their careers goodbye.
If that's true, maybe Dale's riddle is starting to come true. If we can only find the money when the stars begin to fade, that might be why we happen to find the old film now.
Spooky.
Ugh. Wow, where would he hide it? That man was insufferable.
Oh, sorry. Didn't know anyone else was in here. What are you doing? Looking for the money?
Of course not. Why would I be worried about such a little thing like that?
Oh, sure. I understand.
I mean, it's not like I need the money.
We both got plenty in the old days, although you always did get paid more than me.
That is because I was the star, my dear.
How refreshing that you use the past tense. At least you know, acknowledge that I'm the bigger star.
Ugh, that is ridiculous. If you were such a big star, then why did Alex bring me in to save this little production of yours?
Because I asked him to.
What?
I asked Alex to bring you in for this role. To be honest, he thought it was a terrible idea from the start. But the station needs the money, and he agreed that it would get us a lot of publicity.
I had no idea, but why call me back after all we've been through? There are plenty of other stars around.
None that would bring in an audience like a reunion of Packard and Horne. Face it, Sara, people like when we work together.
It has been a long time.
We did have fun in those days, didn't we?
We sure did.
Why did we ever let it come to an end?
Oh, I don't know. I seem to remember something about you stealing my husband?
You never loved Alex. You married him so that Dale would cast you lead in everything he did at this godforsaken
That's
little
not
radio
the point.
station.
You knew it was mine and you stole them from me.
Yeah, but you have been divorced a year already. You got rid of him as soon as Dale died. Why would you even care?
Because you were supposed to be my friend. We were a team.
And all of this had to happen just because I fell in love with your ex-husband?
Yes!
Ugh.
What was that?
It sounded like a door closing. Why?
That's what I was afraid of.
What's the problem?
The problem is that the door to this room locks automatically from the outside.
You mean we're trapped in here?
Yep.
Together.
Until someone comes looking for us.
It's gonna be a really long night.
That is the first thing you've said in 10 years that I can agree with.
I haven't seen Miss Packard or Miss Horne since we finished rehearsal on the dinner scene. Anyone know where they might be?
No idea. I just finished my rounds and I did not see them anywhere.
That is not good.
Yeah, they are liable to kill each other if one of us isn't around to break up their fights.
Well, maybe we should all go and look for them.
You're right. Everyone split up and let's see what we can find.
You guys go ahead. I'll stay here and make some more coffee.
Sounds good to me.
You all go on. I gotta finish the editing on this last scene.
I'll join the search if that's alright.
Mr. Flag, where did you come from?
This just in. I was getting lonely at the news desk all alone, so I decided to see who else was in the building.
All right, newsboy. Calm down. Let's just go find Queen 1 and Queen 2 before we have a royal massacre on our hands.
Do you think anyone's looking for us?
I mean, they must have realized we're missing by now. I'm sure they're all trying to find us.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sure once they discovered that we were gone, Alex organized a search party.
You think Alex is going to come and find us?
Absolutely.
Then we're doomed. That man can't find his glasses on his head, even if he was looking into a mirror.
You never give him enough credit. He's not the complete idiot that you and his father always treated him as, you know?
You really do love him, don't you?
Yeah, I guess I do.
Well, maybe it's the best for you after all. Can I tell you a secret? You're right. I did only marry him to help my career. He was head over heels in love with me, and I knew his father would be willing to jumpstart my way to fame.
As long as we're telling the truth, I did just marry him to make you mad. But it's been the happiest time of my life.
Well, I guess I'm happy for you, but that doesn't change the fact that we are trapped in here with no sign of rescue in sight.
Wait a minute. I think I heard something.
Has anyone looked in this hallway?
To know where that goes.
This is the old accounting department. When the studio was renovated, they moved it down to the front office. No one has been up here in years.
Well, someone has to be in here.
What do you mean?
There are footprints in the dust. They seem to lead to this door.
Hello? Is anyone in there?
We're in here!
The door is locked. Help us.
They're in here.
Let us in! Let us in!
Let us out! Let us out!
We can't get in. We don't have the keys.
What is going on here?
Yeah, no one has been up here in years. And you're all this young.
We thought this place was haunted.
No ghosts here. Just two former stars locked in a room.
Hey, watch it, Abby.
Yeah. What do you mean, former stars?
Well, at least we know their sense of hearing is still good.
Well, what do we do?
You're the janitors. Don't you have a key that will open the door?
Not to this hallway. Mr. Cooper doesn't like us bothering this old wing. Since the station only uses the other part of the building, he doesn't want to pay extra to clean this area.
Yeah, he's a real cheapskate.
Now, be nice. He could have saved the money by firing one of us instead.
Good point.
Well, what do we do now?
I know. I'll go find Claudia. The security guard has to have a key. Stay here until I get back and try to keep those two calm.
And how do you suggest I do that?
I don't know. Why don't you guys tell them a story or something?
A story?
Or maybe a song? One dark winter's evening, the stars warm and bright shone down upon her heart and filled it with delight. He whispered gentle words of hope that only she could hear. Let peace be in your mind and soul, your truest love is near. Strong light shone down from above to bless the garden with purest love. He came to tend the garden in early misty spring. His clear eyes and she saw the joy he bring. He said to her history and spoke both kind and strong. As sure as roses bloom in spring, with him she did belong. The celestial strong light shone down from above to bless the garden with purest love. The thorns outside her window had kept her silent here. The garden filled with hope, releasing her from fear. His strong hand has enfolded hers, forever they'll be wed. He came to tend her garden green and tended hearts instead.
Okay, we're back. Claudia, open the door, please.
All right, it should be this key.
Well, that took you long enough.
At least we're out of there.
Why don't we all head back to the soundstage and see what everyone else is up to?
Good idea. Maybe we can actually get the rest of this show rehearsed as well. Let's take it from Queen Mary's line in scene 25.
Good cousin, I would like to thank you once again for your generosity and welcoming me here to your palace. In celebration, I have brought with me a surprise.
Whatever could it be, cousin?
My lady, your royal chef has informed me that the surprise is indeed ready.
Dim the lights and ready the royal footman.
And now, my personal chef, originally from the French court, has prepared a special dessert just for you, Majesty.
What a nice gesture. Go ahead and do the honors, good cousin.
Thank you. Let the flaming pudding be served.
Most of the play. Just a final scene left to do.
But before we finish, has anyone figured out the riddles?
I don't think we're any closer to figuring it out now more than when we started.
Mr. Cooper, I just want to check these final cues with you. So at the end of the scene, you want me to fade the stars, right?
Wait, what did you say?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
What are they talking about?
I'm not sure, but let's go find out.
I'm right behind you.
Everyone, the booth! That's the answer!
Whoa, what's with the stampede? It was just a question. I didn't need the charge of a light brigade.
Relax, Josh. It was something you said about the fading stars.
Oh, that. At the end of the scene, I slowly faded the recording channel on Sara and Candace, so it sounds like they're getting farther away. It's a simple trick.
And what is your basic job here when we record?
Well, I control all the microphone channels and make sure things stay balanced.
Balance is the key.
And the answer will reveal itself when the stars begin to fade. That's it!
What are you two talking about?
And since when can you two actually agree on anything?
It's a long story.
But that is the answer to Dale's riddles. The money must be hidden under the soundboard.
Well, it was the last thing Granddad had installed before he died. He didn't want anyone else around while the workers were installing it.
Now we know why. He hid the money in the cabinet enclosure.
But Josh, if the cues were so clear when you think about recording, why didn't you figure it out earlier when we watched the film?
Well, to be honest, this is the first time I've heard the clues. I've been drinking so much of Mrs. Palmer's coffee that I went to use the restroom while you were all watching the movie.
I think this is it.
Well, open it up. What is inside?
It's a letter. From Dad.
Well, what does it say?
To the finders of this letter.
Congratulations. You have found my fortune. Take this letter to my lawyer, Mr. Gordon Cole, and he will arrange for the sum of $100,000 to be split evenly amongst all of the finders. And remember,
the walls are not what they seem.
Warmest regards, Dale Cooper. Owner, WMAD.
So, that means we all get a share.
That is fantastic.
Well, it looks that way.
Don't look so shocked, Mr. Cooper. It appears we were all meant to be trapped here this evening. Maybe it was those owls your father kept mentioning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Renault Flag here for WMAD 6 a.m. Action News. New developments. As scientists believe they have figured out the cause of this sudden illness. The disease is being spread by a new species of insect, which has infested the area. Remarkably, during the overnight hours, those insects have completely disappeared. It is believed that they are being hunted by the owls that have been appearing around town. Before dawn, the owls managed to eat almost the entire population of insects. The rest were easily contained and exterminated by local entomologists. It appeared that the owls truly are not what they seem. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Does that mean that quarantine is over?
Sounds like it. But what about the show?
We don't go up until tonight. Maybe we all need a little rest.
Nonsense. We need to finish up rehearsal. Then we can freshen up before we go live tonight.
Absolutely.
I had my doubts about you two working together again, but something must have happened because now you're behaving like old times.
Well, I guess you could say we understand each other a little bit better now.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
That is wonderful. And Palmer Coffee wants to be a part of this newfound friendship. Mr. Cooper, I want to back a regular series of radio shows provided that Miss Packard and Miss Horne will star in them.
Are you sure?
Let's do it.
I'm in.
Fantastic. Well, we'll need a writer.
And of course, we'll need our announcer.
And someone to direct.
Well, I'm on board. Margarita, how about you?
Sounds good to me. Dallas, are you staying on as composer?
Thanks, but no thanks. I'm taking my share of the money, and I'm finally going to write my Broadway musical. I even have an idea. All night, I've been hearing strange sounds and seeing things in the dark. It gave me the idea. What about a radio station that was haunted by a ghost, but the ghost turned out to be a real person in hiding? I would call it the Phantom of the Radio Station. What do you think?
That sounds like an interesting idea, but you're going to need a better title.
Why don't we finish at the rehearsal? It's been a long night.
You can say that again.
Shall we set up for the final scene?
Ready up here.
Your Majesty, Queen Mary has been found guilty of treason and awaits your judgment.
She will be exiled to Fotheringay Castle for whatever remains of her life.
But my queen, she has been accused of plotting against you. Should you not react more harshly?
She is an anointed queen and the granddaughter of my father's favorite sister. I will not order her execution.
Thank you, good cousin. I swear, you shall not live to regret this act of mercy.
Majesty, the performers have arrived. We have gathered the finest singers in the land to perform songs for you on this festive occasion.
What a marvelous surprise, good cousin. Just the thing for this Christmas season. But before I'm sent away in exile, may I not be allowed to partake in the royal concert?
Yes, good cousin, you may. Let the royal concert begin.
Madonna mia cara, mi volere canzon. Madonna mia cara, mi volere canzon. Cantar sotto finestra, ma se compagno. Don don don, di di don 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 don. Don don don, di di don 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 don. Ti prego m'ascoltare, mi cantare buon. Ti prego m'ascoltare, mi cantare buon. E mi ti vuole bene come creda buon. Don don don, di di don 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 don. Don don don, di di don 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 don. Comande alle cazze, cazza come falcon. Comande alle cazze, cazza come falcon. Mi ti porta le grazie come l'olio. Don don don, di don 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 don. Don don don, di don 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 don. Beneath the dark familiar sky, the silent air was stirred. A sudden rush like many winds announced the startling word. A word more distant than the stars. 20, foom, foom, foom. On December 5 and 20, foom, foom, foom. Now we all our voices raise and sing a song of grateful praise. Celebrate and tell His story, all the wonders of His glory, foom, 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 foom. Now we all our voices raise and sing a song of grateful praise. Celebrate and tell His story, all the wonders of His glory, foom, 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 foom.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we have gone astray.
Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. From God our heavenly Father, a blessed angels come to certain shepherds, but tidings of the same. Son of God by name. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Comfort.
God rest ye merry gentlemen.
Bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum. Bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum. Bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum. Bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum. Bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum. Holiday is here, it's a happy time of year, bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Once more time, singing melody and rhyme, bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Candles are lighted and the flames so bright, reflecting the light in the children's eyes. Dance to the tune of the holiday moon, bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum bitty bum bitty 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 bum. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round your virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace.
Thank you for joining us this year in our New Bern High School's Madrigal Feast. Despite all of the challenges that we have faced and gone through this year, we did not allow that to stop us from having the beautiful feast that we have each and every year. And I would like to thank you all for being a part of it and watching our performance.
We appreciate you coming to enjoy our feast this year. Although it is not like past years and we are not able to physically come together, we were able to virtually come together as a Madrigals family. Once again, thank you for coming and spending the night, and I wish you a safe and happy holiday.
Make a road
The walls are not what they seem.